internet, it's Tori, and this is just my opinion. So, all over the news and the internet today and everything, it has come out about the oldest son of the Duggar family, Josh Duggar, has been accused of and actually stepped forward and said, yes, that's true. He's been accused of sexually molesting 5 young girls when he was himself a 14-year-old boy. There's a lot of hate flying around about this. And I have some hate to fling around myself, I'm not going to lie. But I just want to make sure that it's very clear where exactly I'm flinging my hate and where I want it to land. Because this is a complicated situation that I'm not going to profess to understand all the ins and outs of. But based on the information that I've gathered, citing many sources, including the police report that's in the In Touch article. These are the facts as I understand them, and this is my reaction to them. I will happily amend any of this as more information comes to light. So, apparently when Josh Duggar was 14 years old, he inappropriately touched 5 girls, 4 of whom were apparently his sisters, as they resided in the same house with him. And there's a lot of kids in that house, but all of them, are related to him. So it was mostly done while the girls were sleeping, apparently. And the parents waited a year before they reported it to anyone. But here's who they reported it to. They reported this crime personally to a state trooper friend of the family who gave Josh a stern talking to. There was no report filed. There was no recriminations. There was no investigation. The state trooper just gave Josh a stern talking to. And then, subsequently, Josh was sent for counseling, which he badly needed. He needed counseling. A 14-year-old boy that does that needs some help. That's a cry for help. He needs help. He was damaged in this situation just as much as anyone else. But instead of counseling, he was sent off to a friend of the family to build houses. So apparently he just was put on a housing chain gang, got no rehabilitation, and there were no legal ramifications. Meanwhile, the state trooper that the family went to, instead of reporting it to the actual authorities, has since been accused and convicted of possessing child pornography and is currently serving a term of 56 years in the federal penitentiary for child pornography. So that's the cop that they went to about their son molesting little girls. So here's the main problem. All of the kids in the situation, Josh himself included when he was a kid, were damaged by this. And instead of criminal repercussions that would have led to counseling for everyone involved, the victims, the parents, Josh himself, it was swept under the rug. The victims forgave him, which means that with no counseling, these young girls had to face their abuser and forgive him. And in the case of his sisters, they continue to live under the same roof with him. And that's just astronomically irresponsible to me. The parents really dropped the ball. And I hope that what Josh says is right and that it was a terrible mistake and, it's never going to happen again. I really hope that that's true. But if things had been handled well and not just swept under the rug, I think that it would have been better for him, and it would have been better for those poor girls. Because now those poor girls who are members of the Quiverful movement through their family, they have to deal with the fact that they had to live with their abuser, or at least, in case of the girl that wasn't in family, the abuser got away with no punishment. They were supposed to keep it secret and not talk about it. And it was more important to keep it quiet and that they forgive their abuser than for things to get out in the open and them to get help. So, and I'm afraid, although I have... Hi, Mal. I'm afraid, although I have no proof of this... See, I'm getting upset, and so my anxiety dog is trying to comfort me. That they... the way I have viewed a lot of how the Quiverful movement works and how people who are ex-Quiverful women have described it to me is that now, their marriage pool just dried up a little bit because there are men who are going to think, well, they're not pure now because they were touched by a man and that was their brother or their abuser or whatever. So I think this is a heartbreaking situation. I think a lot of the hate that's being spewed needs to be spewed to the right place, which is the parents, in my view. And the thing that really bothers me outside of the children that were hurt is that the family and Josh himself lobby to block gay rights, and they're for the Defense of Marriage Act, and they don't think that gay rights are important. They don't think gays should be allowed to marry, and that being gay is a sin. And if you're going to hold yourself up to stout the virtues of certain set of sexual rules, and then you're found out to harmful to people, unlike being two adult people in a same-sex relationship, which hurts no one, that's a very he who's without sin cast the first stone kind of situation. And they are not without sin. That family allowed a terrible thing to happen, and then they did a terrible thing in response to it by covering it up. But that's just my opinion.